We begin today's program with Jim Martin of the 60 Plus Association, one of the groups at the front lines of this battle over Medicare that we're seeing play out. And Jim, you're up right now with a series of calls and ads thanking members for the vote that they took. I'm wondering, your group is committed to is protecting the interests of senior citizens. What they did to Medicare a couple weeks ago, a lot of people saying ending Medicare as we know it. Why is that consistent with your group's message? Why is this something you want to praise these people for?
Well, first of all, let me address that ending Medicare as we know it, which is the main talking point now of everybody from the president in the White House to every Democrat on Capitol Hill. Ending Medicare as we know it, I got to put it this way. Ending Medicare as we know it happened a year ago in March, I believe, a year ago when Obamacare passed, because it radically changed Medicare as we seniors know it by cutting $500 billion out of Medicare. There's a huge doctor shortage on the horizon, and already rationing has started. I can name you one drug. It's a breast cancer drug called Avastin that has already been declassified by the FDA because of cost and cost alone. That is Medicare as we know it, changed radically a year ago.
But Paul Ryan isn't actually doing it any favors in terms of what the program looks like. He would phase it out for people that are under 55.
That's absolutely true. Look, I've looked at the Paul Ryan plan. He's at least trying to save Medicare for the future. So far, the status quo seekers, quite frankly, whether it's Nancy Pelosi in the House, Harry Reid in the Senate, the President in the White House, doing nothing, quite frankly, is not going to save Medicare. If you do nothing, instead of being on the path to prosperity, as Mr. Ryan likes to say, we're going to be on the road to ruin with Medicare. Everybody knows it's going under because of the huge cost involved.
I want to talk to you or ask you about one thing in particular. You wrote the other day that Democrats have attacked Paul Ryan's plan. You said it was overused by Democrats who tried to demonize spending cuts, scare seniors as they do every election year. And yet I want to play an ad that you all ran in 2010 pointing exclusively, as you pointed out earlier, to this issue of this $500 billion in Medicare cuts. Let's run this clip.
Pay for health care reform by cutting $500 billion from Medicare. For seniors, this will mean long waits for care, cuts to MRIs, CAT scans, and other vital tests.
So here's my question. Was that not demonizing and scaring seniors?
No, I think it was being factual because, quite frankly, when I started calling them cuts almost 2 years ago, I was taken to task by a lot of folks saying that these are actual savings in the program. Well, when the New York Times started referring to them as cuts and the Washington Post as cuts, I kept calling them cuts because that's what it is. Slower rate of growth. Only in Washington. Came out and said
these aren't cuts. This is a savings over the course of 10 years. It's slowing down the rate of growth. It's not an actual cut.
Well, call it savings or cuts. I don't want to get into a semantic battle about these particular semantic cesspool, I sometimes say, about words in Washington. When is an increase a decrease and so forth? The fact is, the proof is in the pudding. There's already hospitals that are in dire straits. 3 up in Pennsylvania near Scranton have have closed their doors, quite frankly, because of these cuts or these savings. Clearly, this is a problem. Yes.
Last question on this point, because I just want to clarify for our viewers here. How is it consistent when last year Democrats, $500 billion you attacked as cutting Medicare, and you showed senior citizens being hurt by that, when you got this year Republicans ending Medicare as we know it, phasing it out entirely for those under 55, and that is not a cut?
Well, again, ending Medicare as we know it happened a year ago with these huge cuts to Medicare. And the fact is, to address your earlier point about demagoguery or distortions, I would point out one thing. The late Senator Paul Tsongas, a liberal Democrat from Massachusetts, perhaps in a moment of candor, he said years ago, he said, my party, the Democratic Party, has been riding the twin horses of hypocrisy, Social Security and Medicare or Mediscare, scaring seniors into the voting booth. It's time to stop it. It's shameful, and it's time to stop those tactics.
All right, Jim Martin of the 60 Plus Association, we thank you for being here on Topline. Thanks a lot. We'll be watching those airwaves very closely.